Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with Thor's Lightning Takes. And let's get right to the news.
First, I had a couple of fun tidbits I just wanted to bring to people's attention before I leap into the news.
Okay.
First off, Anakin Skywalker is coming to Fortnite on May 2nd.
I thought you said interesting.
I know we don't play Fortnite.
I don't know anything about Fortnite, yeah. Never played it.
You're so lame.
Well, and you do?
I know about it.
In fact, when people are watching this, I'll probably be playing Jedi Fallen Survivor, as some call it.
And second piece of interesting news, the Star Wars Timelines book, which did, in fact, actually come out.
It did, and it showed up a couple days late. I thought it was a conspiracy against us personally, yeah.
But what I found interesting is that, I know I call him the wrong name all the time. I always want to call
him Hu Yang. Is that who you're talking about? Yes.
We're talking about Ho Yang.
Hoi Yang.
Hoi Yang, whatever. But I like to call him Hu Yang.
Yes.
But only because he is voiced by Doctor Who. David Tennant, yeah. So I always call him Hu Yang, which is wrong.
Which makes you forget the real name.
Well, he's Professor Hu Yang, so it's like Dr. Hu Yang.
It's Hoi.
Dr. Hu Yang.
Oh, God.
Sorry. But according to the Timelines book, he was actually powered up in 25,020 BBY, which means when he goes on to make the boast that he has catalog references of every lightsaber ever made, he's being accurate because the Jedi Order was founded around that time.
He's not being entirely. I'm sure some were made about his.
No. All of them. I believe him now. Timeline's confirmed.
Was he there for Luke's in
yes.
Return of the Jedi?
He was there. He popped up.
Master Skywalker.
But if you remember, that happened after he made that boast.
Well, yeah. He did it in the Clone Wars, so.
There you go.
I'm just saying, I'm sure
But he said he had, cataloged all of them, and now I believe him.
Okay. No, the Timelines book has been curious so far. I haven't really had much of a chance to dig into it yet. We just got it about an hour before this recording. So.
And it's not like a fun read, it's just informational.
Well, it's not even about that. I thought it was going to be a little more like telling me what story took place when, instead of just tells you what was in the story. Kind of where it takes place.
I like the fact that it says estimated all over the place. Like, estimated means we can move it if we need to.
Estimated means we don't really have much of an idea. So
it means it took place around here, but we might make something that contradicts, so we'll move it if we need to.
Yeah, I think it means many different things. But no, my little glance at it so far has been interesting. Not exactly what I was thinking, but interesting.
We'll probably dive deeper in this channel next week, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Deep diving into some of the interesting chunks if we can find anything.
Well, I'm just curious to see where they put some things in relation to others. Like I said, I haven't had a chance to go into it, so I'll be curious.
All right, speaking of Jedi Fallen Survivor, there's a huge complaint about it online. The big complaint being physical copies.
Which I wanted to get but didn't because I wanted to be able to download it early. It's already downloaded, ready to go. It just needs to be midnight Eastern time right now, which it's not when we're recording this.
Physical copy used to mean, look, I bought the game. I have the disc. If I don't have internet or for some reason the apocalypse happened and internet went out, I can still play my game and have a great time.
Because that's what you're going to do with the apocalypse. I'm going out playing Fallen Order.
You know what I'm saying.
At this point, I just might. Like, if the world was ending tomorrow, I'm like, I'm going to spend it playing Survivor.
It meant that if you wanted to go over to your friend's house with your game, you could take your game over to your friend's house and you could play it together.
I like that you didn't even think about the fact that I wouldn't spend the day with you. Of course you could watch me play.
But nowadays, physical copy doesn't mean you actually have a physical copy of the game. Apparently, like in New Zealand, early copies and stuff that had come out, people bought it and were like, well, I'm going to play it right away, obviously. And it was not what they thought. It had like the tutorial intro level, and then it was like download required.
Well, how did they buy it early? I'm confused.
Because in New Zealand, apparently they put some out in the stores and you could just buy it. You could pre-buy the game so you'd have your copy when it went live, I guess. Because the retailers must have known you can't actually play the game.
Well, yeah, but I mean, can't you buy it and pre-load it like you can if you buy it online? I'm confused at this.
Yeah, but you can't play it early because they couldn't.
Of course you can't play it early. Why would they get to play it early?
I'm saying, normally if you bought a physical copy and you're like, haha, look, I got this early, you could play it early. Like if you are given, let's say you were really excited about one of the new Star Wars books that comes out and you get an advanced copy. You're not going to read chapter 1 and it says, I'm sorry, you have to wait to read the rest of it. It's not actually in the book. We'll mail you a supplement.
So what you're saying is Does it have the entire game, or is it just
No,
allowing them to...
it does not have the entire game.
Can they download the rest of it?
Yes, they will be able to download the rest of it. The rest of it will automatically download for them.
I see what you're saying. They're mad because they wanted to because they want to skip that process.
Because if you have a physical copy, you should have the game.
Yes.
You shouldn't have to be like, oh, well, now I got to do a download. That's required to play.
Not everybody has good internet. Like, our internet is kind of okay.
But our old internet in the apartments we lived in... It would have taken over a week for us to download this game.
That's not an exaggeration.
No, it's not.
It was bad.
It was really bad. We couldn't stream two different things at the same time.
It used to take me about an hour and a half to 2 hours to upload a video.
Oh, and
now
you
it
get
takes
so
me
mad.
about 5 minutes to do it.
You'd be uploading and I wouldn't realize it, and I'm like watching a video on my phone, and all of a sudden I'd hear, "Are you watching something? My internet, my upload's
now it's
gone."
telling me a date until it's done.
And I'm like, oh yeah,
sorry,
I'll stream my music later.
Yeah,
it was, but some people live in bad internet spots.
Okay, I understand what you're
getting
at.
And then they're like, what? They have to take the whole console to somebody else's house to download things that are necessary just to play a game they physically bought.
I thought you were implying they were mad because they somehow got their hands on an early copy and weren't able to play it early.
Well, there's fine print on the box that says download required, which apparently is most of the game.
Well, that's kind of stupid. Well,
right.
Not kind of stupid, that's very stupid. Because, again, I understand living in a place that has terrible internet.
Mm-hmm, because we've lived it.
Yeah, I mean, for us here, I think it took 16 hours. I'm curious how long it took you out there to download it. It took us 16 hours to download Survivor? 150 gigs or whatever it was.
I mean, you bought a disc that's useless.
It's I mean, you get the cool packaging. A lot of people still like to have... I like to have
Well, then my question goes in, can you not play the game without the disc then? Like, we know we bought a digital copy. If we need space and we delete that digital copy, we know that at a later date we can re-download our digital copy. Does this mean, let's say they don't keep their disc. Does it mean without that disc, if they delete it off their machine, they can't re-download it? If they no longer have the original disc? Because the disc probably comes with some sort of a product key or something. What happens then?
I'm not sure.
Bingo. But, I mean, Jedi Survivor is not even the first game that pulled this kind of garbage. And I'm going to call it garbage because that's what it is. If I buy a physical copy of a game, I expect to have a game. Not an intro level with the promise of the rest of the game whenever it downloads.
I mean, the problem is all these games come out
not finished.
Yeah, even if you do get the disc with the quote-unquote whole game, you're going to go home, plug it in, and it's going to say, I need to update.
But there's a difference. Sometimes I need an update just because there's some glitch within the game, some quality of life issue, but the game is still there.
Yeah,
but you could play around and still just have to deal with some annoying glitch.
Yes, usually an update isn't 150 gigs of download.
That's an day one update patch, not your game's not there at all type situation. But Hogwarts Legacy did that too. They locked out the physical copy owners after the tutorial until they downloaded the rest of the game. Halo Infinite's disc was also incomplete. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 didn't have any game data on the disc at all.
What was the point of the disc?
The physical version of these games are it's a key. You have to insert into the console to get your digital copy. All it is it's a key.
So they're just selling you a plastic case.
Yes, they are.
And a disc inside.
Mm-hmm.
It'll have some cool art on it.
Well, if you're lucky. If you're lucky, you get the cool art. But I just think that's kind of rough.
No, I agree.
We live in a world where, yes, internet is very accessible, but it's not 100% accessible.
I think it's not. I think people...
Take it for granted, maybe?
Take it for granted that there are a lot of people out there who have really bad internet.
We live in a rural area. We live in a very rural area. We really only had one internet provider available.
One option, yes. Literally one option.
So if our internet's not key, and it's because we don't live in an area that has that.
Yeah.
Not all of the country does.
Yeah, we live
not
outside.
Not all of the world
We do live outside a major city. Don't get me wrong. We're not in the middle of nowhere. But where we are, you would think we live,
Just putting a tiny disclaimer saying download required isn't good enough. Especially think about it, if you're buying a gift for a nephew, a child, and you didn't even notice that. Because when I was a kid, my mom would tell for Christmas, what do you want? And I want this game for my Game Gear. My relative could buy it for me if they wanted.
Sure.
Because they could hand me something and it's a full, complete game. It wasn't like they'd give me something and I go, oh, well, thanks, but I don't have the internet, so I can't actually play this.
It's not the day and age of cartridges anymore either, though.
No. I'm just
I agree with you.
That is in there because you buy it and now you're stuck waiting anyway. You might as well pre-buy the digital game right off the console.
Well, I mean, if we were still at our old apartment, I would have gone and bought the physical copy thinking, I can go home and sure there's going to be an update, but at least that won't take me the rest of my life.
What's interesting is that microscopic disclaimer saying download required that's listed on the game cartridge, packaging, whatever, If you buy it from GameStop or Amazon or Best Buy, there is no indication at all that this game requires a download. So I think it is very misleading, and it needs to be more well-known so that someone doesn't buy the game, spend all that money, open it up, and then find out you can't use it. Because once you open it, it's like game over. Most places will be like, now you have to take it to a resale shop where they'll give you $10 and they'll resell it for $70 themselves.
Yeah.
So that's what I think on that. Next little piece of news, because we ran a little longer than I expected to. Sorry, everybody. Set photos from Andor Season 2 have popped onto the internet.
Potential spoiler here?
It's not really a spoiler. There's no story spoiler. It's just a...
Images.
It
does betray who may be returning.
But it's not like it's a major thing.
Well...
All right, but first off,
spoiler warning nonetheless. I'm going to be courteous where Naboo is just going to spoil everything for you.
You know Naboo knows what a real spoiler is, and this is not.
I know.
So they did some filming at the Greenham Air Base, which was used in The Force Awakens in 2014. It was the Resistance base on Dakar. The same location is now being used to film in Andor Season 2, which is cool. It's like right outside of England, I think. It's it's in England, it's in Berkshire. So this could have some interesting story repercussions, meaning this base has been used by the Rebel Alliance once.
So is it the same base, or are they just using the same location?
Using the same location. I think it's interesting because they could then, of course, in universe, make it the same location as well, which is what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
But the only characters you can see are, I think its name was Moroff, the big fuzzy, white fuzzy guy. I think it was a Gigaran, something like that. And he's kind of was pacing around in this video, and you can see two tubes from behind.
Which
meaning Saw's base is most likely here right now. So cool.
Yeah. Little tidbit. Not much to glean from that other than Saw is probably in Season 2, which I think we could have guessed at.
For all we know, they're trying to recreate that Yavin 4 base using this location. I mean, with digital technology and everything, they could just be using the structure of this base to kind of mimic that base, too.
Could be. Mm-hmm. No, I think we could safely assume Saw is going to be in Season 2, considering his connections to Rogue One, which this leads right into.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of a Jedi Fallen Survivor, when are you going to be playing it? Because you won't be able to play it with me. You will be...
Depends if I get some of these videos done in advance, because I think I have, 1 day off.
Well, we could always try streaming you playing it.
We could, and everyone could make fun of me.
That's why I'm here.
You mean everyone can watch me run around looking for collectibles?
That's what you do. You are...
I do love to find the collectibles. Maybe we will. Maybe on Sunday, when I'm not at work.
Even when you're at home, you're at work.
Yes. I get home from work, and then I work for another 2.5 to 3 hours.
Sometimes more.
Because I love my audience.
You love doing this.
I do. This is more of my passion. I love talking Star Wars and reading the comments from everybody, and it's rewarding, and I enjoy doing it.
No, I'm glad
I'm getting all mushy. I'm sorry, everybody.
You are, actually. But no, it's true. I love doing it too. I've been doing it for longer than you, so I understand what you're getting at.
So put a humble brag in there.
I'm not trying. No, I just mean that I understand.
Originally, I started this with you on your channel.
You did.
Those videos I don't even think are existing anymore.
I think I took them down.
We started with Rebels in Review.
Those might still be up there.
Yeah, Rebels in Review were the original videos. And we shot them together.
They'll be gone by the time people look for them.
It was called, we were calling ourselves Teleconja Club at the time.
It was right after The Force Awakens came out, and we thought that was a clever name. Teleconja Club. Mm-hmm. Tell that to Conja Club. Yeah, from The Force Awakens.
We were Teleconja Club, and we did Rebels in Review, and we were reviewing the episodes.
Yes. And I remember one time we got 200 views on one of them. We were like, oh my God. This is amazing.
I was having fun.
I know.
And we did that, he was the chosen one. I think you did all the talking, but I did all the editing, and I spent really a long time doing it because I wanted to put in funny jokes.
Yeah.
That were visual jokes, though. Kind of didn't always relate to exactly what you want.
No,
you called someone the chosen one, so I put up a picture of Harry Potter.
Yes. You kind of went crazy, which is why I don't watch the videos on this channel, because sometimes I know you go a little wacky with the editing, and I'm just like,
sometimes, not often.
I don't even want to know.
I'm usually very busy, so
sometimes I know I'm being chased by an Ewok or something, so I tend not to watch it.
When I have enough time, sometimes I play with the openings. It's fine.
You do. Anyway, I think we've gotten off topic, but if you are interested in Naboo playing Jedi Survivor,
or Fallen Survivor,
maybe we'll try to make that happen. But for now, that's going to be all we got for this time. So now it's your turn to take to the comments below and tell us what you think of, well, tell us what you think about the disc situation with Survivor, or these set photos for Andor. Whatever the case may be, leave those comments below. Let's talk some Star Wars, and until next time, thanks for watching.